How about now? Do we have sound? It looks like we've got sound. Let's see if people can refresh. See how many can come on over here. Well, I want to welcome Right Riders. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live stream. If you're catching us on the replay, I want to say thanks for checking in on us. Perfect. Thanks for checking in on us. Sorry we missed you. If you want to drop a comment down and let me know a better day and time that work for you, we'll see what we can do. Let's see who's in the chat. We've got Dale L. Roberts in the house. We've got Nigel from the Simple Publishing University. They're in the house. And a couple other people are going to be joining us shortly. So today, Kelly Published in the house. Today, we're going to talk about how to make the most of your free ACX promo codes to help get better reviews or to help get more reviews and to help grow your email list. So let's check the chat, see how everybody's doing. How's everybody going? Mexi Slang in the house. Raul here. Yeah, I helped you out with the no content books. Great. Kevin McGuire in the house. Let's see if next time we can get this chat working where the sound works perfectly the first time around. But like I said, we're going to start on working with ACX. Now, for those people who don't know what ACX is, ACX or Audiobook Creation Exchange is Amazon's version for audiobooks. Let's see. And so if you put a book up on Amazon, and after it's up on Amazon, you can create an audiobook for it. And when you publish it through Audible, or they'll publish it through Audible, through Amazon, as well as through iTunes. And when you've published your audiobook, they will give you 25 free US and 25 free UK promo codes. But you got to ask for them. As soon as you publish, send them an email at support@ACX, and they will give you the 25 free US and 25 free UK codes. So let's see how everybody's doing. Thumbs up, gang. Thanks a lot, Dale. Thumbs up in the house. If you like this, hey, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. That's fine. If you not already subscribed, then subscribe, click the little bell icon so you get alerted every time I put out something new. If you like this content, great, subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe anyway. It's free. I won't tell anybody. Anyway, getting back started on the ACX codes as people start coming in. What you want to do is the first place you want to share your ACX codes with is reach out to your platform if you have one. Obviously, people that know you and that follow you are going to be more likely to actually use the codes and leave reviews. You also want to reach out to friends and family. This is something I actually learned from the Mickelson twins, who I'm sure will be coming in here in a little while. But the Mickelson twins, when it comes to ACX, these guys know it all. The only thing that they know more than that is energy. So absolutely, when you're done here, check out the Mickelson twins. When it comes to ACX, they're crushing it right now. One thing that they had shown on one of the previous videos that they did was that you can actually have friends and family use the promo codes and leave you reviews. Also, people that you deal with in real life, IRL, as the kids call it. Like for me, a lot of my books are softball related. So I have a lot of, groups I belong to, as well as friends in the softball area. So I absolutely will reach out to them and offer them some of the free promo codes that I have. Also, you want to look at kind of outside the box. And obviously you can go to groups on Facebook and stuff like that, but also Goodreads, one place that I use and I actually get a lot of requests for my promo codes, as well as they actually leave reviews, is on Reddit. Find a subreddit that has to do with your niche, or if you can't find a subreddit that has to do with it, start one. There's also subreddits for Audible or audiobooks. And when you just post in there what your book is about, and people like free stuff. So I wouldn't offer all of them because, like I said, you only get 25 US and 25 UK, but you can offer a few and see what kind of return on your investment you get. I'm going to start giving you some tips on what I did that actually helped my email list. But first, I want to check again with the chat. Let's see. Again, we got Raul is in the house. Let's see if anybody else joined us. Does anybody have any questions so far? It looks like everybody in here is already quite familiar with ACX. So, okay, so here's what I do when I send out the promo codes. When I send out the promo codes, first of all, to the best of my knowledge, and I really haven't gotten anything back from ACX to say this is incorrect, is there's no expiration. But the end users don't know that. And what I do is when I give out a promo code, I tell them that it's good for 1 week. And there's reasons why I do that. And I'll talk about that in a second. But again, I tell them that there's 1 week. That way, there's a sense of urgency. They'll download the audiobook and hopefully, listen to it, within a reasonable amount of time, and then leave a review. I don't actually do anything with it after that 1 week, but again, it's to get that sense of urgency. You also want to make sure that now that they have this new bounty program, which if you're not familiar with the bounty program, if someone doesn't currently have an Audible account, when you create your audiobook and you ask them for your promo codes, they will give you a link that is unique to you and to your book. And whenever you give out the free promo codes, make sure you give this link, because if someone goes to Audible through that link, they will get 30-day free trial. They will use the promo code for your book. If they stick with Audible for an additional 30 days, that 1 day after, so basically the 61st day, you will get a credit for a bounty. And now the bounty is $75. So that's, they have to go through that unique link. And again, I'll talk about that in a second, but that, that's extra money that you're getting without even really doing much work once you share the link. So make sure when you give out your promo codes, you give out this unique link. So where can you put the link besides the places I told you? Well, one place I put my link is I've actually put it in the back of my books. The link to the Audible, I will actually put that in the back of my book, where normally I would put in, a request for a review. Depending on the book and how the book is doing as far as reviews are concerned, I'll replace that review request with the Audible link and put a little blurb in there that says, if you're interested in audiobooks, check out this one. If you're not already with Audible, here's a free link to get your 30-day trial. And if you're the first, and I'll give them a number, maybe 10, if you're the first 10 people to click on the link and then email me, I will give you a free promo code. So that's another way to get people involved, especially when they hear the word free, they get even more excited. So absolutely, those are just some of the tactics that I use. Again, like I said, I tell them that it's good for 1 week. And so that gives them that sense of urgency to do it right away. Let's check back with the chat. It looks like a bunch of thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Nigel. I'm rocking it. I'm not sure about that, but I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we got some thumbs up, and we have 5 people in the house and 4 thumbs up. Who is the person that's not giving a thumbs up? You don't want to be left out. Give that thumbs up. So I don't want to waste a lot of time with dead air. So I'm going to tell you my trick and why I tell them 1 week. The reason I tell them 1 week is I have a spreadsheet where I list all of the people, whether it's their email address or their username, depending on how I reached out to them, and what unique promo code they got assigned. And then what I do is, after I told them 1 week, so I wait an additional week to give them a little more time, and then I will email ACX and I'll ask them which promo codes have not been used. Because if they haven't used it within 2 or 3 weeks, I reuse it. So, even though you're only given 25 US codes and 25 UK codes, don't just give out the 25 and then just, wipe your hands of it. Most people won't use them. So again, I just email ACX. I ask them which ones have not been used yet or which ones are still available. And it usually takes them a day or two to respond. But once they do, I get a list back of, out of the 25, I might get a list back of 10 or 15 that haven't been used. Well, then I can use those again and reach out to another group of people. So that's one way that I use the promo codes as efficiently as I can. Now, if you want to take the extra step and wait another couple weeks and ask again, absolutely. Also, keep in mind, like I said, these codes don't expire. So if you've got audiobooks that you've done previously with ACX and you didn't know about the free promo codes, or you just didn't bother dealing with it, reach back out to them and ask for promo codes, US and UK, for each of those books. Now, I would do each one in its own email, one, so that way they don't get inundated with requests all in one big long email, but also it makes it a lot easier to keep track of them. Like I said, I have a different spreadsheet for each of my books and the US and UK links. Let's see how the chat's going. So far, you're liking the edit. There we go. Yeah, we're still missing that one thumbs up, but I won't hold it against you, But so now, how do I use that to grow my email list? There's an audiobook promotion site, and I usually don't talk about promotional sites too much, but this one I used, and it's called Audiobook Boom, and I used it for 2 of my books. I used it for my nonfiction book, as well as I used it for one of my children's books. And I wanted to see how the requests that came in differed between the two, but I also wanted to see what kind of response I was getting as far as the turnaround and getting reviews. And what I found was about 30% of the ones that asked for the codes actually left a review. But more importantly, there were quite a few that asked for both the audiobook, or both for the audiobooks for the nonfiction as well as for the children's book. So I didn't send out the links to everybody, or the codes to everybody. And the way Audiobook Boom works, it's $10, and they will send out an email with a list of books in different genres that have submitted for that particular week. And when someone requests a free code, they don't send them the free code. They send you a spreadsheet with the person's name and email address, and whether they're US or UK, for each of the books that they've asked for a promo code. This really surprised me. This was a huge game changer, because they're taking their clientele, their customers, and they're giving you this information, mainly because my guess is they just don't want to have to deal with the promo codes and everything else. But it's great, because then you get to personalize your emails to them, send them the promo codes, follow up in a week or so, and just say, I hope you liked the book. Let me know if you have any questions. Can't wait to hear what you thought about the book, and kind of giving them a hint to leave a review. But that's where you're supposed to leave it, as far as like what's traditionally done. I looked at their terms of service, and I didn't see something which really, again, got me thinking outside the box. And what that is they have no rules against you contacting those people again. So what I did was I contacted everybody that asked for a free promo code, whether they left me a review or not. And I sent them an email and sent them a link to my email sign-up sheet for future audiobooks that I'm going to do. So basically, if they're interested in audiobooks, which clearly they already are, then I basically tell them that if you'd like to be the first to get alerted when I have a new audiobook coming out, then sign up below and drop your name. And I use MailChimp, where I'm able to add some actual checkboxes. And I actually listed all the different genres that I write in and asked which ones they're interested in. That way I can, when I send out a list or an email to those people when a new book is coming out, a new audiobook, I make sure that if they're not interested in children's books, I'm not going to bother telling them. But this way, I not only have added emails to my email list, and I will say out of the, I think 30 people that requested promo codes for both of my books, about 75% have signed up for my list. So again, and I'll probably use Audiobook Boom again, but I don't need to use them for these particular people. And the more I use Audiobook Boom or others like it, I've also, like I said, I've reached out to, I do it in Reddit. And so when, people ask for promo codes, now I also say, if you're interested, I've got a list that I send alerts to. So these are the first people that will know about these free promo codes. And it's actually turned out really, really well and helped grow my email list more than pretty much anything else I've done. So I know it's a little outside the box, as is a lot of the things I do, but what do you guys think about it? You guys have some other ideas? Is this getting the wheels churning, thinking of some other ways that you can use this information and these free promo codes to help get more reviews or to help your email list? What's everybody think? Let's see. Yeah, it's 5. Yeah, we have 6 people watching and 6 thumbs up. That's great. Risa Faye's in the house. Glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yep, I love MailChimp as well. MailChimp is, and I use the free version because, well, I'm cheap, and it does everything I need. I'm sure once I get to 2,000 or whatever the max is, then yeah, I can, I'll reconsider upgrading. But for now, it does everything I need, and like I said, it's free because I have 4 kids, 2 dogs, 1 wife, 0 privacy. So I make sure that I utilize my time as well as my finances as much as possible. Thanks a lot, Kevin. I think that was a great idea. Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of stuff going on up here that kind of scares me sometimes. But yeah, it just, and I double checked and triple checked because I have OCD. So I always, and I want to stay, I've heard so many bad things, especially when it comes to, people trying to skirt the rules and stuff like that. So I absolutely double and triple checked it. And if you go into Audiobook Boom and you look at their website, it's a great site. It's a great idea. The guy that actually started it was, or I don't know if he still is, but a narrator of ACX. So, it's a great concept, but their terms of service are pretty bare boned. It's probably a 1-page list and that's it. It's more of saying what they don't do than actually saying what you can't do. Let's see. All right. I'm sorry if I'm shaking you. My leg's shaking like crazy, but so does anybody have any questions? Like, I know I kind of went through this pretty quick. Like I said, if you have any questions and you don't catch it right now, obviously you can drop it in the comments. I respond to every single comment that I get. So, and I try to do it in a fairly speedy manner. So again, Audiobook Boom, that's what I use. Like I said, it's $10 as of now. Not sure if it's going to be, if that price will go up, and they accept, as far as I've seen, every single genre, whether it's a children's book or steamy romance, whatever, they accept it. You just send them an email or a sign-up sheet on their website, And like I said, it's $10 and they'll do it. And I think Dale actually used it the same time I did. And we actually had it in 3 different categories. And we kind of compared our list to see if it was the same person signed up for all 3, then it was definitely one that we weren't going to send a promo code to. But I still sent, even the ones that were the ones that I didn't send a promo code to, I still sent an email to them asking if they were interested to sign up. And even the ones that didn't get promo code, a couple people came back and said, well, I requested a code, but I never actually got one. And then again, I checked with ACX to see if there were any free that hadn't been used, and there were. So then I would send them back out, and they were so appreciative that they were usually the ones that signed up the fastest. Most of which I think they actually signed up probably before they even used the promo code. Yeah, Simon. Yeah, we definitely got Simon says, yeah, Simon was definitely one that was on all 3 lists, and it was easy to point him out because he was one of the few that actually came from UK, and so it stood out quite a bit. But he actually tried to, on one of my lists, he actually tried to do it twice because it was, like I said, one of the few people that came from the UK, and he used a different name and a different email address, but you could tell it was pretty much the same because the email address he used was pretty similar to the one he had on the other one. So yeah, sometimes people do anything to get something for free, but if you're leaving me a review, I mean, that's what the free promo codes are for. So I'm okay with that as long as it's a review and it's a decent review. And I don't mean decent or good as in the number of stars. If my book's crap, give it a 1 star. I mean, I hope you don't, but if it is, then yeah, let me know. And as long as you give me good content in the review, so I can actually do something with that information. If you do give me a 1 star and just say boring, or you give me a 1 star and just say, not my type of book, that really doesn't help me at all. I'm sorry, it's not your type of book, but you got the code for free. So, don't be too rough on me. So, I mean, like I said, if there are no questions, I'm going to check one more time. Do you foresee audiobooks overtaking ebooks? I do. I really do. With the commutes that people are that have nowadays, it's just audiobooks are the only way to consume books at this time where you can multitask, where you can literally be doing something completely different and still get the content that you're trying to get. So yeah, I mean, right now audiobooks is no pun intended, but audiobooks is booming. Just year over year they're increasing. But when it comes to, and I'm not going to get too far into this, but right now as far as competition is concerned, I mean, audiobooks is so much easier than ebooks. You may have a niche that in ebooks has thousands or tens of thousands of competitors, and you send that over to audiobooks and there's hundreds as opposed to tens of thousands. And I will tell you, and I probably shouldn't share this because it's one of my niches, but just a general niche. If you go onto Audible and you look up children's picture book, the last time I checked, there were 25 audiobooks. That's it. 25 audiobooks in the children's picture book niche. So, I mean, if you've got, like I have 4 children's books right now, 3 of which are in audio, and I don't have them in that category, and I should, because that means out of 28, 3 of them will be mine. So that's definitely something I'm gonna look into shortly. But yeah, it's crazy how less competitive audiobook is. Let's see. Oh, in sales. Yeah, I mean, it depends on, a lot of it depends on how long of a book you have. Obviously, because at least when it comes to ACX, and I know there are others out there that actually let you set your price, but ACX doesn't. ACX pricing is based on the length of the final product of your audiobook. So if you're doing, especially with children's books, children's books, chances are just going to be under 30 minutes, or at least definitely under an hour. So they're going to come out to be, it's about, I think it's like $357 that they charge. So as far as the amount of money you can make, obviously if you make novels and longer books, you absolutely can make more money in the audiobooks than in ebooks, especially if you bundle them with others as well. So I hope that helped. Yeah, we cross-checked Simon. It was a very good question, Dale. Thanks for asking. Simon never left a review. Simon did not leave a review for me either. So if that makes you feel any better. So he got probably, well, I didn't send him both promo codes. I just sent him one for the nonfiction book, I think it was. So, but yeah, he didn't leave me a review. Okay. Question. Do you think audiobooks needs to have reviews to get sales? No, I don't. I mean, it's funny. I wrote the book on reviews, but I think reviews are good. Reviews definitely help, assuming you wrote a decent book. But so many people spend so much time, and I talk about this in my Facebook group a lot. So many people spend more time worrying about those darn reviews and what's the secret number that makes Amazon care about your book. And you should not worry about reviews to the point where it's keeping you from writing new books, keeping you from marketing your book. It's one step in the process. It's not the end all be all. And I've absolutely seen audiobooks particularly that will sell even without any reviews at all. But, I mean, like I said, ACX gives you the free promo code. So, I mean, the chances of you getting a review is pretty good, as long as you don't just, send them out random. Make sure you send it out to people that are interested in your niche. Just like with a book, if they're not interested in your niche, they're probably not going to leave you a review. Or if they do, you got a better chance of them leaving a review, either a 3 and make some kind of comment like it's not their type of book. So make sure that when you give out your free promo codes, that you use your common sense and send it to people that are interested in that niche. Good question. My new book is diet related and has competition of 4 on Audible. Yeah, that's crazy. 4. And now if you take that same exact niche and you put that in ebook, you go on Amazon and you click on Kindle, what's your competition? Same thing for paperback. I mean, audiobook is just, I don't know if it's something that people just didn't think of. I mean, and when you look, you'll see a lot of books that, you'll see that there's a Kindle version. You'll see that there's the paperback version, maybe even a hardback version, but no audio version. And it's, especially if you use places like ACX, where you have the option to do royalty shares and where it'll actually cost you 0 up front. And I know there's people that really are against the royalty shares, especially on ACX, because you only get 40% royalty anyway at best. But sometimes if you're if money's tight for your first few books, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with doing royalty shares. I have royalty shares on some of my books, but again, as soon as you can afford to just pay outright, I absolutely would. Especially if you're doing children's books that are shorter, usually you can get, if you get someone who charges $100, per finished hour, and it's only a 30-minute book, then that's $50. And, and then you don't have to share your royalties for the rest of the 7-year period that you sign up for. That's crazy. What? Yeah. Kelly said it perfectly. Wow. Only 4. Yeah. I mean, it really surprises me how many people don't even think of audiobooks, which, like I said, especially with the amount of, I mean, you can listen to audiobook while you're working out. You can listen to an audiobook while you're on the train going to work, in the car going to work, whatever. And, like I said, it's the only way that you can consume a book while you're doing something else. So, especially books like where you're learning different languages. Absolutely. So it's definitely something that's growing. And, all of us that are jumping in on it now, I think are really going to benefit the most, because there's, like Kevin just said, there's a lot less competition. So there's a lot better chance of you becoming, even if you're not, a go-to person in the ebook realm when it comes to this particular niche. If someone 5 years from now is looking up audiobooks in this niche And yeah, there may be thousands, but if a good percentage of those are yours, and because you started earlier, you have more reviews, you're absolutely in the long run are going to make a lot more than someone who waits the next 5, 6, 7 years before they start using audiobooks. Okay, Nigel, I kind of answered that as far as like what I think. I think it's better. It's better in the long run to do an upfront cost and just pay outright. But if you, like I said, if you financially can't, don't let the fact that you don't have the money to do the per finished hour be the reason you don't do an audiobook. Do an audiobook, do the royalty split. Yeah, you may be, kicking yourself in the tail if your book really, launches off. But the way I look at it, I don't look at it as I'm losing this money. I look at it as I'm making this money. I'm making the 20% that I get when it's a 50-50 split. It's all in mindset, and so I don't think of the 20% I'm not getting. So just a way to think about it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have the discretionary funds, I definitely would pay the per finished hour, and just like I said, that way there's not even the concept of you having to split the money. You've got it, and it's the 40% that you are getting is going to come to you. Now I know there are if you're going to consider the per finished hour, you might want to go in the other competitors of ACX, because I know a lot of them give higher royalties than just the 40% you get from ACX. But ACX does give you the free promo codes. So it's kind of, it depends on what's most important to you for that particular book. And you can have some books on ACX and some books with one of the other competitors. So just don't limit yourself. And again, we talk about it a lot, but try to go as wide as possible. So you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket, especially with Amazon. They can change their mind or change their rules at any given time, because it's their pool. We're just swimming in it. So Kevin, it's crowded. Yeah. I've done AMS ads before, and especially if you're in children's picture books, it's such a saturated market that if you don't do AMS ads, you're probably not going to get many sales. I mean, a few sales will trickle in, but when my children's books, when I'm running ads, I will run the ads and I'll start getting quite a bit of sales. I mean, I think the last time I checked, one of the ads I was running was getting, anything below 50% ACOS. A lot of people say is profitable. I do. If it's not below 30, I'm not happy. For my children's books, the ones I was running ads to, they were coming in at like just under 10%. So they were really profitable for me. But as soon as I stopped the ads, sales just stopped. So it's so saturated when it comes to the paperback and even the ebook version. But yeah, on Amazon, like I said, but with audiobooks, there's, like I said, the last time I checked, which was like a week ago, there was only 25 if you go under children's picture books. Now that I've said that, everybody's going to do that, and it's going to be hard for me to sell mine, but that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, Kelly, audio is definitely a higher barrier of entry. Yeah, that could be why there's less competition. I think there also could be the fact that people just don't think about it. If they're not ones that actually consume audiobooks, then they're probably not going to think about audiobooks, which personally I didn't. I mean, I don't use audiobooks too often. So it took me a while before I even thought of, hey, let's try this whole audiobook thing. So I think that's also a big issue, is the ones that listen to audiobooks and are authors are usually the first ones that actually create audiobooks. Let's see. Mexi slang. My book is language related, Mexican slang. Okay, that makes sense. I want to do it, but I need I need to save because ACX isn't available for Mexicans. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I'm going to cover this in another video, but it's when it comes to just this business in general, when it comes to, being an author, um, there's basically, in my opinion, there's two different thought processes. You can either do it treat it like a business, or you can treat it like what I call a lemonade stand, which, I mean, there's not one's better than the other. It's just your mindset. But the difference is like a lemonade stand. If you think of a kid when they're running a lemonade stand, they have, they get the ingredients, they make it, they sell it, they take the money, they go and they spend it. As opposed to a business where you take the money that you've made on ebooks or the money that you've made on paperback and you put it back into the business. So that's the different mindsets that I see. And like I said, I mean, depending on what your end goal is, there's nothing wrong with either one. But it's just a matter of at least acknowledging to yourself which one you're in, and that will help you. That'll help you plan your future in the industry in either direction. So yeah, I mean, saving up, absolutely. So I mean, it's a shame. You might want to look into some of the ACX competitors. Like I said, I mean, I know that as far as I know, none of them offer a royalty share, but their prices may be different. So you might be able to find, a person that's going to do it at a lower per finished hour. So just something to look into. And the good thing is you can look in prices and stuff like that, and it's not costing you anything. It's just research. I mean, it's costing you time, but as far as, money, it's not going to cost you anything just to check out the, some of the other options. And I'm sorry, I keep saying the competitors. I think one is Findaway Voices. I know Dale knows all about those competitors. I just honestly, I've stuck with ACX so far, and I haven't really reached out to any of the competitors so far. Let's see. I don't know if you're saying I'm a mind reader, or you're saying Nigel, or you're saying that somebody else is a mind reader. But thanks. I've been called a lot of things. I've never really been called a mind reader, but except for with my wife, because we've been together since high school. So it's not so much that I can read her mind. Yeah, Authors Republic. It's not so much that I can read her mind. It's just kind of more in sync. But yeah, Kevin McGuire just said Authors Republic. Yeah, that's one of the other competitors. Findaway Voices. Yeah, it definitely seems like a good deal to do Findaway Voices. Like I said, I just haven't looked into it. Especially, I really should, especially since I use Draft to Digital a lot. So I know that they work hand in hand. So, and I believe if you use Draft to Digital, you actually can use Findaway Voices without a sign-up fee or something like that. So I know there's definitely a deal in there. I just need to look into it. But as my channel says, I do this part-time. I've got a full-time job, like I said before, wife, 4 kids, 2 dogs. So it's just, and right now I'm actually editing my last year's NaNoWriMo novel. So it's just trying to pick what areas I'm going to spend my time on right now. And of course, creating YouTube content. Might be how Mexican slang can get audible. Yeah, that absolutely could work. The Authors Republic, I know from what I've heard that they definitely do international. So we've gone almost 40 minutes, and most of it's actually been with audio. So that's amazing. So anybody have any other questions? In the meantime, again, if you're not already subscribed and you like this content, subscribe, smash that bell icon. It gives me that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. And, if you didn't like the content, subscribe anyway. It's free. I won't tell anybody. It'll be our little secret. Smashy. There you go. So if nobody has any other questions, then I am going to wrap this up. So in the meantime, again, I'm Keith Wheeler. Thanks for watching. And remember to write right.